Good morning everyone, welcome, thank you so much for joining me today. You'll see by the state of me, I am in full mum mode today. I am meal planning for the next 2 weeks. Well, 2 weeks from yesterday really I started. I'm going to be doing some batch cooking and I thought I would bring you guys along and show you how I get set up and what works for me and for my family. So I just had a food shop delivered that I'm planning to batch cook for the next 2 weeks. I'm only doing 2 weeks this time. Normally I would do the whole month, but I'm short on space and containers right now. So we're just gonna do 2 months. So we started it off yesterday and we did a roast dinner. So I'm just writing everything down on this handy little whiteboard so that when I start cooking I won't forget anything. So we did a roast yesterday and then I have another chicken for another roast on next Sunday. So I only use some of the meat. It's only the 3 of us, it's me and my 2 teens. So there's still a lot of chicken left over. So that chicken will be going into some of the other meals that I will be cooking today. So that's roast for 2 meals. We've got chili for 2. And then I want to make a bolognese for, again, 2 meals. I'm just going to be doubling up everything that I am making. It's just easier that way. And I know that some people would probably want a lot more variety in their meals. But honestly, this works for me and it works for my family. I know that my kids are going to enjoy these. Yeah, and that, you know, that's what meal planning is all about, isn't it? It's what works for you and for your family. So we've got roast chili, bolognese. Somebody mentioned stroganoff in one of my last videos and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since. So if that was you, thank you for putting that in my head. I didn't buy any beef. So I think what I'm going to do is use some of the leftover chicken maybe. At the very least it will be packed full of mushrooms. And then we'll probably do that with rice. Maybe with some kind of pasta dish. I'm not quite sure yet. But the whole point about this is making sure that the bulk of the meal is done. So like with the chili, I'm just making the chili and then they'll go in the freezer, and then on the actual day that we eat it, it's just a case of making some rice, or maybe we'll have it with some wraps or something. But the bit that takes the longest amount of time will already be cooked. So roast chili, bolognese, stroganoff. What else was I gonna do? Now my mind's gone blank. Homemade pizzas. Again for 2 nights, so I need to make some dough for that. I don't know if I'll make those today. I might do that because obviously I need to leave time for the dough to rise. And then I just bought a bag of grated mozzarella. I think that was like $2.99, but last time I bought that I ended up using it for so many pizzas, so it really did work out to be really good value. And then I would just make a homemade tomato base and then we'll top it with whatever, and then toppings will just be whatever I've got to hand. So probably be onions, mushrooms. If I've got enough of the leftover chicken, I might throw some chicken on there. Yeah, so that will be 2 nights. So how many is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Then I've got, nearly forgot, pasties. I've got 2 packs of pre-made puff pastry that I bought. So I will literally be taking a little bit of the chili, a little bit of the bolognese, using the little bits of the chicken. You know, the bits that they're not really big enough for like a mouthful or to like put in a curry, but you don't want to waste them. Putting those into something like this with some vegetables. I'm going to make just like a garlic white sauce to go with it as well. And then putting it inside the puff pastry is delicious. and the kids love those, and they're so simple. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and then I'm going to do curry for one night. And then, oh, I bought some pork loins as well, so I'm going to be doing those. I bought those because last time I got those, you got 6 in a pack, which is perfect for my family. There's only 3 of us, so I could split that and make 2 meals. And that was my intention this time. But if they came, because I got the food shopping delivered, they came and there was only 5 in there. So I can definitely make 1 meal out of them. And then the other 2 will probably be for when my kids go with their dad and I'm here by myself, just as an easy meal. So I don't think I'm going to do anything with the pork loins today. What I really want is, let me sit down. What I really want is to find a really good marinade and then make that and put the pork loins into that in a bag in the freezer. So if you have any suggestions of a really delicious marinade that is simple to make, please do let me know. So today then I want to make the chili, I want to make the bolognese. The stroganoff, I found a recipe that is done in the slow cooker, so I'm going to get that going. Just because I don't have a lot of, like, I don't have a big oven. This is a rented house, like everything's kind of standard rental stuff. So there's not a lot of space to have tons of stuff going at the same time. So if I can do the stroganoff in the slow cooker, then the chili and the bolognese I can do on the hob. And then I should at the very least be able to do 1 pack of, in fact, let me show you. So this is just the puff pastry that I get. I think it's about $1.80. I think the price has just gone up. It did used to be less than that. But this will probably get maybe 6 or 7 really good size pasties out of it. And the great thing about doing this is that if you've got younger kids, you can make like really small portions that they're going to make, rather than having to rely on kind of standard sizes that you would buy if you bought them pre-made. So I will probably get 1 pack. I have another pack of this, and take some of the chili, take some of the bolognese, and then I can make up the white sauce with the leftover chicken and put those, because filling wise you really don't need a lot in them, so it's not going to make a big difference if I'm taking from these meals. So let's go and get the ingredients out. So I've got 4 packs of mince, I've got the carrots, and I always buy these wonky ones because they all look the same when they're chopped up, don't they? We have 2 packs of the mushrooms, we've got onions, flour, 4 tins of tomato. I thought I had more kidney beans, but alas we don't, so there's not going to be as many kidney beans as I would hope. Then I've just got the herbs, chili powder, paprika, garlic, salt, the tiniest bit of pepper. Need to get some more, some stock cubes, and some Worcester sauce. Leftover chicken is there. I have already made a start on making a few things yesterday. So I made some of these, because I didn't buy a lot of bread, so I made some homemade bagels yesterday. And this is the first time that I've ever done that. Excuse my horrible nails. These are the first time that I've ever made these. These are the sourdough bagels, and they turned out so nice. So my son's taken, well, he's actually taken 2 of those to school for his lunch today. So I'm definitely going to be making some more of those. So obviously this, what I'm making now, is for dinners. When it comes to breakfasts, I have fruit and yogurt. So we've got bananas, right now we've got bananas, clementines, a huge tub of blueberries, and then I bought quite a lot of passion fruits because the kids love those. Obviously that's not going to last 2 weeks, so fresh stuff I will be topping up again. I don't think I said this shop cost me £108, but I did get quite a few non-food items as well, so it's probably, you could probably take a tenner off of that. So I will definitely need to top up on fresh stuff over the next 2 weeks. So we have to be careful with fruits though, because my son suddenly developed, we know now that it's called oral allergy syndrome, and it just randomly happens. Generally it will kind of manifest itself when kids are like older kids / teens, which is bang on. He was about 12, 13 when it first started to happen. So now certain fruits, when he eats them that he could eat as much as he wanted to before, now it will make his throat itch, it gives him lumps on his lips. Like, it's so strange, but it doesn't affect his breathing. It's not like a normal food allergy where, you know, your throat closes up and you can't breathe. Although interestingly, we found out recently that there's a link between this allergy and hay fever. And so the type of pollen allergy that you have can be linked to the fruits that will set you off. So my son has tree pollen. That's when his, you know, starts sneezing and whatnot. So things botanically related to a birch tree, for example, are apples. What did they say? Apples, almonds, peaches, plums, pears. Basically, we were going through this list and it was like all of the things that set him off. Yes, so it's really strange. So we have to be careful with the fruits that we eat, because obviously as much as he likes the fruit, it's not worth that horrible itchy throat feeling afterwards. So we've, as well as the fruit, we've got Weetabix, there's also toast. Just this morning I've made some protein pancakes because one of my kids goes to the gym now. So they've just treated themselves to a bag of Bueno flavoured protein powder, and they asked if we could make some protein pancakes for breakfast. So I've got those. I think there's about 6 of those left. Those are in the freezer. So that will be breakfasts. Then at the weekends we might do, you know, like egg and bacon, or, you know, something that's cooking, but generally during the week when we're like all getting up and busy, it's just grab things quickly. Then for lunches, it will be sandwiches. It will be, like I say, the bagels that I made. I'm definitely going to make some more of those. My daughter has her lunch in school, so she'll just grab something snacky just to eat on her way to or from college. So as well as the bagels, I will also make some cobs that we can use for lunch times as well. And by cobs I mean like bread buns, bread rolls. I don't know what you call it where you're from. So yeah, we'll make some of those fresh from scratch. And then my plan is every Friday is to get my sourdough starter active and ready, so that I have a fresh loaf of sourdough bread to bake on a Saturday morning, and then we can have that over the weekend, which is delicious. But we've also got things like pasta, we've got tuna, we've got jacket potatoes. So we do have other things in there if we fancy grabbing it as well. But yeah, they're generally the things that we stick to. So that will be us for the next 2 weeks. I have got the mushrooms, the onions, the paprika, and I don't have fresh garlic cloves, so I've used garlic powder, and I've crumbled up the stock cubes, so I just need to add some water to that, and then we can leave that going. I will link, if I use the recipe, I will link it down below. Just an FYI, when I say I use a recipe, I use it very loosely. I throw in what I've got. So this recipe, for example, requires sour cream, and I don't have sour cream, so I did a quick Google, and apparently you can substitute sour cream with Greek yogurt, which is handy because I've got a lot of that. So that's what we're going to be doing with that. So that is the stroganoff now in the slow cooker. It says for 4 hours. I've added a lot more water than it says. Obviously I'm making enough for 2 meals for my small family. I've also thrown in a little bit of plain flour because someone said that it was a little bit watery, which, you know, if you're cooking it in the slow cooker, I guess it doesn't reduce down as much. So I added just a touch of flour just to make it a bit thicker. And we will come back to that in about 4 hours and add in some salt and some pepper, see if we need anything else. And that one is pretty much good to go. Then once that sauce is cooked as well, then I will be adding the chicken. I didn't want to put the chicken in now because obviously it's already cooked and nobody likes dry chicken, do they? So that is that one done. So next I'm going to do the chili next. While the mince is browning in the back, I am going to start the white sauce for the pasties. Along, I just did, oh, we're going to steam up. This is just equal parts butter and plain flour to begin with to form a roux. Then the trick is to add the milk really tiny bits, especially at the beginning. So you turn the roux from that kind of thicker, almost like a pastry dough to a paste, like gradually at a time, and then you can add in the rest of the milk and keep stirring, and then you'll get this thick sauce. Into this I've added some garlic and some mixed herbs, some salt and some pepper. So if there is too much for the pasties that I'm planning to make, I can always have that with a bit of pasta for my dinner. I'm not sure how well it freezes. I don't think I've ever tried to freeze it, but I'm pretty sure that you could do that. So I've just added in half an onion that I chopped up into small pieces, and now I'm just adding in the chicken. Smaller little bits of chicken are perfect for the pasties. So I'm just kind of breaking it up, I'm dropping them in. Then I'm just going to let this sauce cool, and then when it's done I can roll out the puff pastry and we can get these made. While I'm just waiting for the chili to thicken up, the stroganoff is still cooking away and that smells beautiful. And then the pasty filling to cool down. I'm just going to have one of these handmade bagels with soft cheese and lettuce and a nice cup of tea before I go, and I've got some computer work that I need to be getting on with. And then I just have the spaghetti bolognese, well, the bolognese. I'm not cooking the spaghetti part today. And then that is how many meals? 2, 4, 6. 6 meals, and then however many pasties I get done today. So not bad for, I mean, it's really not taking me all that long. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that I've already made yesterday a sponge cake, and let me show you. So I think if you've seen any of my previous videos, you know I've spoken about this before, just as like a little sweet treat. We like to have like cake bars and things, and before I would have bought them like the Mr. Kipling style cake bars, but they're so expensive now, so ridiculously expensive. So what I do is I just make a basic sponge cake, cut it in half, put some filling in it, put it back together, and then cut it into individual kind of finger slices, and then they get wrapped and they get put in the freezer. If the kids want to take them to school, or take one, not all of them, to school, then they just take one out of the freezer in the morning. By the time they come to eat it, it's completely defrosted. So I made a sponge cake yesterday, and I actually bought some Mr. Kipling filling, or like a frosting. In fact, let me grab it and show you. So I wouldn't normally have bought this because it was expensive, but it was on offer, and when I came to order my shop, the kind of Tesco's own chocolate frosting, which is what I wanted to get, was out of stock. So I ended up getting this one, and it was on offer, so it ended up costing about 30p or something more than the Tesco one, but it's really good. So it's a Belgian chocolate fudge. So we've got the Belgian chocolate fudge slices in the freezer right now. So one kind of standard square sponge I cut it in half, and then each half into small slices, and I think we got 6 out of each, so 12 slices in total. So I will make another sponge cake, probably not today because I need to get cracking on with some other work, and that will have just a vanilla frosting in the middle with a little bit of jam, and again that will make another 12, and then they will go into the freezer. But people will sometimes say, you know, why do this? Because it's effort now. Like, why not just cook as you go along? And I think if you're someone like me, like I have days like today where I'm super motivated. Like, I've had the music on. One of my favourite songs is Crystal by Stevie Nicks, so I've had that blasting out this morning. I've had some Sam Cooke. I've had some Luke Combs. We've had a little party in here this morning. So I'm super motivated to do that. But I also know that there'll be times throughout this week, especially at dinner time, if I've been working, if the kids are coming in late, that if I don't have things prepared, I'm probably gonna struggle. And that's when we're more likely to reach for a takeaway or just real crappy food. So having it pre-made is such a massive convenience for me, and it works for me and my family. And also, I've just realized when I say chili, if anyone's from America, like the Texans watching this going, I don't know what you just made, but that is not chili. This is British chili, which I didn't realize that there was a difference, but apparently there is quite a big difference. Someone said it's the equivalent of what like a British person watching an American make a cup of tea in the microwave, like that. What are you doing? That's not it. So I apologize to people that are talking about traditional chili. This is British chili. Okay, if you are British, you'll know exactly what I mean. So the battery just died, which was fun because you missed a lovely shot of me cleaning out the pan that had the chili in it and the water coming out too aggressively. So now I'm covered in water and chili juice, which is lovely. So we've got the spaghetti bolognese. Well, the bolognese part is all in. So I just did onions, carrots, garlic. What else did I do? Mince, obviously. 2 packs of mince. Stock cube. 2 tins of tomatoes, salt, pepper, and mixed herbs. So that just needs to reduce down. So while that's doing, I quickly want to show you what I mean about the pasties. This is a very strange camera angle, but I need you to be able to see what I'm doing. So I ended up getting 6 strips out of the puff pastry. Don't ask what happened with that one, we don't know, okay, but we're still gonna eat it regardless. She'll be delicious. So the chicken and onion in the white garlic herby sauce is lovely and thick now. So I'm just going to take a tablespoon. It's probably not going to pick up what it actually looks like, but it's full of chicken and onion. It's not just sauce. And then I'm just going to place some in the middle. I always think the trick with these is to not overfill them, but sometimes when you look at them they can look a little bit sad, like they don't have enough filling in, but they just end up exploding in the oven. So I'm just going to do that. In fact, let me just show you with one so we're not messing around all day. And then it's just a case of folding the top over, lining it up, and then getting a knife, and if I get my flour, and then just squashing the edges down and going all the way around. Some people will go on to do an egg wash over that. I don't really bother, to be fair. I'm not that fussed if that's not done. And I don't really want to have to waste an egg. And then just put a hole in the top so that when it cooks, the steam can come out. And that's it. So once I've done all of these with the fillings, I will put them on this tray into the freezer just for about an hour or so, and then they can be transferred into a Ziploc bag so that they won't stick together. And then it's just a case of getting one of these out. Let me show you sort of the size of them. It's just a case then of getting them out from frozen and putting it in the oven for about 25 minutes, and then they're done, and they are absolutely delicious. So I've just packaged up some of the food that I can. The stroganoff is not ready yet. It is still really, it's just too watery for what I want it. So I'm going to leave it in a bit longer. I'm going to take the lid off and see if that helps it to reduce down. But let me show you what we got. So we've got two packs of the bolognese, and I'm going to freeze them laying down flat just so they don't take up too much space in the freezer. We got 2 packs of chili, and then we've got the 6 like herby garlic chicken pasties. So I split those into two packs of 3, and I still have another pack of the puff pastry, and I also have another whole chicken to make. So what I'll probably do with the puff pastry is when I cook the chicken, the whole chicken next week, I'll make a curry then. I'll put the chicken in it, and then with the other pack of puff pastries I'll do curry pasties. So all I have left to do now then is to make the homemade pizzas, but they are super simple and super easy. And what else do I need to do? The roast will be done on the day, and the curry will be done with the meat from the roast, so I don't need to do that yet. And then it's just the pork loin steaks that I need to find some kind of marinade for. And then I'm pretty much done. What I might do is go through, because I did buy a lot of jacket potatoes, and then I bought 2 bags of just kind of normal white potatoes. So I might do something with just the normal white potatoes, just so that they don't go mouldy in the cupboard, but they're fresh, like they'll be fine for a little while yet, so I don't need to do that. So thank you so much guys for joining me for meal planning for my little family. If you haven't already, please consider hitting subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up and let me know where you are watching in from, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.